And then moving from your head and your neck and into your shoulders. Just notice how your shoulders feel today. And moving from your shoulders down through your arms. Just pay attention to how your arms are laying today, if they're close to your body, if they're far away from your body. Do you have your palms facing up or down? And moving from your arms and into your torso, just take a couple of nice deep breaths and pay attention to how your rib cage is moving today and how your belly feels as you take those breaths. And then notice how your low back is feeling today, and your hips and your pelvis. Pay attention to the weight of your body on the floor, just noticing what you notice. Moving from your hips and down through your legs, and all the way down to your feet. And pay attention to how your feet feel on the floor today. And then we're going to go into some flattens and some tilts. So we're going to bend our knees and bring your feet to standing flat on the floor. And we're going to start with our 3 flattens, which we'll do on an exhale. So an inhale first. And exhale as you flatten your back into the floor, squeezing in your tummy muscles. Hold for just a moment. And super, super slowly, with control, releasing the contraction in your abdominal muscles. Letting your body come back to its neutral rested position. And we'll repeat that one again, starting with an inhale first. And exhale as you flatten your back into the floor, bringing your pubic bone towards your ribs and your ribs down to your pubic bone. Hold for a moment and super slowly begin to release. Slow and smooth. Releasing with as much control as you can. And make sure to rest. And then we'll do that one more time. Inhale first. And exhale as you flatten your back to the floor, bringing your pubic bone to your ribs, pulling your ribs down towards your pubic bone, flattening your back into the floor. Hold for just a moment. And super slowly begin to release. Super, super slow and smooth. And when you're at the end of that release, make sure to rest. And we're going to do some tilts. And we're going to do these with an inhale. So inhale and tilt, rolling your tailbone forward and down into the floor as your low back lifts just slightly off the floor. Make this movement really small this morning. Just a small tilt. Hold for a moment and exhale as you super, super slowly release the contraction in your pelvis, releasing in your back as your hips come back down to the floor. And rest. And repeat that one again. Inhale and tilt, just a little small tilt. Rolling your tailbone forward to the floor. Hold for a moment. Exhale as you super slowly release the contraction in your low back. Slowly letting your low back float back down towards the floor. Make sure to rest. And now we're going to put together our flatten and our tilt. So we're going to start with the tilt. So inhale and tilt, rolling your tailbone forward and down into the floor. Hold for just a moment. Exhale as you super slowly release the contraction in your back. Super, super slow and smooth. And at the end of the release of the tilt, going straight into flatten, bringing your pubic bone to your ribs and your ribs down towards your pubic bone as you flatten your back. Hold for a moment. And super slowly begin to release now in your tummy muscles. Super slow with control. Releasing the contraction. And at the very end of that release, going straight into tilt again, rolling your tailbone forward and down into the floor. Hold for a moment. Exhale as you super slowly begin to release the contraction in your low back. Slowly letting your hips float back to the floor. And at the end of that release, going right into flatten again, rolling your pubic bone up towards your ribs, bringing your ribs down to your pubic bone as you flatten your back to the floor. Hold for a moment. And super slowly begin to release. Super slow with control. Releasing in your tummy muscles. And at the end of that release, make sure to rest. Good, and now we're gonna add in a couple of hip and leg movements. So we're gonna start with the clam. And again, make sure to stay in your comfort zone, have some cushions nearby, you may need them, possibly for under your knees when they open to the sides, or maybe for under your back, but we'll give it a try the way you are first and you can see how you feel. So we're gonna start with our legs flat. So go ahead and lengthen your legs long. And now super slowly, you're gonna begin to bring your feet, the soles of your feet towards each other as your knees begin to open up to the sides. And you're gonna start sliding your feet up towards your butt, super slow. Only to where you can go comfortably. And now very slowly reverse that movement now. So now super slow with control, slowly pushing your feet back down to legs long. So legs are slowly with control, going back to their straight position. And then super slowly bringing the soles of your feet together again as you bring those feet and legs back up into the clam position. Super slowly sliding your feet along the floor. And when you've gone as far as you can go comfortably into your clam, then slowly reversing back to straight legs again. Slowly with control, pushing your feet along the floor, lengthening and straightening your legs. And rest. And then one more time, coming back into the clam. Soles of the feet turn towards each other as you slowly slide your feet along the floor. Only as far as you can go comfortably. And then super slowly reversing the movement, slowly sliding your feet along the floor again till your legs are long and straight. And rest. Now we're going to do what we call the knock-kneed position. So this is sort of the opposite of our clam. So this time your feet are going to turn opposite, soles away from each other as you slide your legs up into a knock-kneed position. So your feet stay on the floor and your knees will start to bend upwards towards the ceiling, but they will stay together. And only as far as you can go comfortably. And super slowly sliding your feet along the floor again as you bring your legs back to their straightened, long position. Super slow and smooth. Making sure to rest when you're back in the leg long position. And then repeating that movement again, soles of the feet turning out from each other. Sliding your feet along the floor, knees stay together in this knock-kneed position. Only as far as you can go comfortably. And slowly lengthening the legs back to long. Slow and smooth. And now what we're going to do is put these two movements together, the clam and the knock-kneed, and we're going to be moving back and forth between them. So now I want you to bring the soles of your feet together, going into the clam position again. So slowly, soles of the feet towards each other as you slide your feet along the floor. Knees are opening to the sides in the soft, comfortable clam position. Now super slowly, begin to invert your feet, evert, as your feet will start to turn outwards now and the knees come together, and you're going to slide your feet down and go into the knock-kneed position. Yes, Courtney, you got it. And then slide the feet. And then from your knock-kneed, sliding the feet down to the long position again. And make sure to rest when your legs are long. And now going back into your clam, so feet turn towards each other, the soles of the feet turn towards each other, sliding the legs up into your clam. This one we're going to do a little bit different, only going as far as you can comfortably. Now super slowly go back to long legs, sliding your feet along the floor again. Slowly taking the legs back to long. And then when your legs are long, you're going to switch and go into your knock-kneed. So turning the feet away from each other, knees come together, and sliding the feet up into your knock-kneed position. And then smoothly from there, sliding long again. Feet slide along the floor, going back to their long lengthened position. And then right from your long position into clam again. Bottom of the feet come towards each other. Feet slide up as you go back into the clam. And then slowly sliding the feet again. Back down, two legs long position. And right from legs long position, going into knock-kneed, turning the feet away from each other, bringing the knees together. And when you're in your knock-kneed position, super slowly sliding your legs back to long. And then just take a moment to rest. And now we're going to do a little bit of a letter X. So you're going to bring your arms along the floor above your head. So your arms will stay on the floor, but they're going to be up above your head, and you're going to move your legs apart about shoulder width so your body is making the letter X. And we're going to start with the bottom part of the body. So we're going to start with lengthening the right leg. So I want you to think of lengthening your right leg, pointing that right toe down towards the floor. And at the same time now you're going to flex your left foot and think of bringing that left hip up gently towards your left armpit. So you're shortening in your left side as you're lengthening in the right side. And hold for a moment. And now super slowly, we're gonna switch that movement. So super slow, you're gonna begin to point the left toe down to the floor as the right toe begins to come flexed, which means you're bringing that toe towards your face. Your left hip begins to go long as now your right hip begins to shorten. Think of bringing that right hip up gently towards the right armpit. Hold for just a second, and then super slowly switching that movement again. So now slowly begin to lengthen in the right side, slowly letting that hip come down. Slowly begin to flex the left foot, and slowly now your left hip comes up towards the left armpit. And then slowly switching again. And now without pausing in between, we're going to keep that movement fluid. So I want you just to do that a couple of times. Shortening in the one side, lengthening in the other. Good, and now we're gonna add in the upper body. So we're gonna stay with the lengthening and shortening on each side. So now as you begin to shorten on the right side, so the right foot is gonna flex, the right hip coming towards that armpit. At the same time now, I want you to think of bringing the right armpit down towards the right hip. As the left side is lengthening now, the left toe is pointing to the floor. I want you to also think of reaching that left arm upwards along the floor. So lengthening on the left side, shortening on the right. Now super slowly, we're gonna begin to switch that movement. So slowly now releasing on the right side, slow and smooth, as you begin to shorten on the left side now. You'll probably notice that your head will want to naturally roll to each side as you're doing this. Go ahead and let that happen. If you're staying in your comfort zone, that's exactly what we want to happen. Super slowly now releasing on that left side as you begin to shorten on the right. Slowly bringing the right hip up and the right armpit down. Right foot is flexed, left toe is pointed to the floor, and then slowly switching again. Super slow and smooth with control. Shortening now on the left side, lengthening on the right, and then super slowly reversing one more time. Slowly now, releasing on the left side. Slowly that left toe is pointing down to the floor as the right toe is coming towards your face. Shortening on the right side. And then super slowly releasing on that right side and coming back to your central, neutral, rested position. Just take a moment to rest. And now what we're going to do is a lengthening of each limb. So we're going to start with the right arm. I want you to think of reaching those fingertips, lengthening the right arm. Don't pull or definitely don't stretch it, but lengthen it as much as you can comfortably. And now super slowly begin to rest that arm. Slowly resting. And now you're going to lengthen the right leg, lengthening the right leg, reaching it long, staying in your comfort zone, and super slowly now releasing in that right leg. And now lengthening in your left leg, reaching the left toe down towards the floor as you make that left leg long, staying in comfort, and super slowly releasing in the left leg. And now reaching that left arm, reaching with your fingertips, reaching the left arm, staying in comfort, And now super slowly, releasing the reaching in the left arm. Take a moment to rest. And now we're going to do opposites. So now what I'd like you to do is reach the left arm along the floor, and at the same time you're going to lengthen your left leg. So right arm is long and left leg is long. You should notice a shortening of the other sides as you're doing this. So right hip is now short, left arm is short. And now super slowly begin to release. Releasing in that lengthening. And then switching to the other side. So reaching now your left arm long and reaching the right leg long, pointing the right toe down to the floor. The right leg lengthens and the left arm lengthens. And super slowly releasing that contraction. And then one more time on the opposite side. So reaching the right arm along the floor and lengthening and reaching in the left leg. Right arm is lengthening, left leg is lengthening. And super slowly releasing in the lengthening. And switching to the other side one more time. So now reaching the left arm long along the floor and reaching with the the right leg, toe pointing down to the floor as the right leg goes long. And super slowly releasing the lengthening and coming back to your neutral rested position. And when you finish that one, and without rushing, you're going to bend your knees again and bring your feet to standing. And now I think we have time to quickly do a couple of opposite elbow to knees. So I'd like you to bring your right arm up behind your head, if you can do that comfortably. And we're going to start with our inhale and arch. So when everyone's ready, inhale and arch, gently rolling your tailbone forward and down into the floor. At the same time, pressing your shoulder blade down. And also turn your head gently to the right. So your head will be looking towards your armpit. Exhale as you super slowly begin to release the contraction in your back. Super, super slow. And then going straight into flatten as you bring your pubic bone to your ribs and your ribs towards your pubic bone. And now gently lifting your head, chest, and right elbow towards the left knee. And you can also bring that left knee towards your elbow. Remember to stay in comfort. Hold for a moment and super slowly now begin to release, slowly lowering your foot back down to the floor. Slowly with control, lowering your head. And once your head is resting comfortably on the floor, slowly opening your elbow. Make sure to take a moment to rest when you've finished. And we'll do one more on that side. So inhale and tilt, rolling your tailbone forward and down into the floor. Press your shoulder blades down, turning your head gently to the right. Hold for just a moment. And now exhale as you super slowly release the contraction in your back. Slowly releasing, going straight into flatten, bringing your pubic bone to your ribs to your pubic bone. Lift your head, your chest, and your right elbow, and bring the left knee towards that right elbow. And remember, it doesn't matter how close they are. What's most important is to stay in your comfort zone. And now super slowly, lowering your foot, slowly lowering your head. Super slow with control. And when your head is back down to the floor, slowly opening your elbow. When you finish that one, and without rushing, we'll switch to the other side. So super slowly, bringing the left arm up now behind your head. Your right arm will be long beside your body. And starting with our inhale and arch again. So inhale and tilt, rolling that tailbone forward and down into the floor, at the same time pressing your shoulder blades down. Think of drawing them towards your tailbone. Turn your head just gently to the left and hold. And now exhale as you super slowly release the contraction in your back. Slowly releasing and then going right into flatten as you bring your pubic bone to your ribs to your pubic bone, lifting your head, your chest, and your left elbow now towards the right knee and lifting the right knee towards that elbow. Hold for a moment and then super slowly begin to release. Slowly lowering your leg, slowly with control, lowering your head. And once your head is back down to the floor, slowly opening your elbow. And take a moment to rest. And I'll repeat that one more time. Inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down into the floor. Press your shoulder blades down and draw them towards your tailbone. Turn your head gently to the left. Hold for a moment. Exhale as you super slowly release the contraction in your back. Slowly releasing and going right into flatten as you bring your pubic bone to your ribs and your ribs to your pubic bone, lifting your head and your chest and bringing your left elbow and right knee towards each other. Hold for a moment and super slowly releasing. Slowly bringing your leg back down to the floor, slowly lowering your head. Once your head is resting comfortably, slowly letting that elbow open to the floor. Taking just a moment to rest. And then we're going to go into our full arch and curl. So for some of you, you may want to have some cushions ready to go under your elbows if you need them. And a quick reminder too, for I don't remember who was in our class the last couple of days, but if you want to peek up here at me for a second, if this position is uncomfortable for you to put your hands behind your head or your ears, you can put your heels of your hands on your forehead and then slowly let your arms open this way. So that's just another option you can try. So we're going to start with our inhale and arch again. Inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down into the floor, pressing your shoulder blades down, drawing them towards your tailbone, and at the same time, tilt your head back. And let your jaw open softly. Hold for a moment. Exhale now as you super slowly release the contraction in your back, slowly releasing in your neck, slowly releasing and going right into flatten now as you bring your pubic bone to your ribs and your ribs towards your pubic bone. Bring your elbows together and gently lift your head and chest into that soft curled position. Hold for a moment and now super slowly releasing in your abdominal muscles as your head comes back down to the floor, slowly with control. And once your head is resting comfortably, slowly opening your elbows, letting them drift back down to the floor. And make sure to rest. And we'll repeat that one more time. Inhale and arch as you roll your tailbone forward and down into the floor. Press your shoulder blades down, draw them towards your tailbone. Tilt your head back and let your jaw open softly. Exhale now as you super slowly release the contraction in your back, slowly releasing in your neck. Super slow. And at the very end of that release, going into flatten, bringing your pubic bone towards your ribs and your ribs to your pubic bone, bringing your elbows together and gently lift your head and chest into that soft curled position. Exhale now as you super slowly release the contraction in your tummy muscles as you slowly bring your head back down to the floor. And super slowly let your elbows open. And take a moment to rest. And we'll do one more time. So inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down into the floor, pressing your shoulder blades down, drawing them towards your tailbone, tilting your head back and letting your jaw open softly. Hold for a moment. Exhale now as you slowly release the contraction in your back and your pelvis, slowly releasing in your neck, going right into flatten, bringing your pubic bone to your ribs and your ribs to your pubic bone, bringing your elbows together, lifting your head and chest. And if you'd like to lift your feet off the floor for this one, as long as you can stay in comfort, you can give that a try. And then super slowly releasing. So slowly lowering your feet back to the floor, slowly lowering your head. And when your head is back down to the floor, slowly letting your elbows come back down. And when you've finished, we're going to go back into that self-scan position. So whatever position you were in at the beginning of class today. And we'll start at the top of our head again. So go ahead and just gently roll your head from side to side. Compare how your head and neck feel now to how they did at the beginning of class. And moving into your shoulders. Just noticing how your shoulders feel. How do your shoulder blades feel on the floor now? And moving down through your arms. Just noticing how your arms feel on the floor and where your hands are. Shh. Sorry, my dogs are crazy. Don't let them interrupt your body scan. And now moving down, back into your torso and down through your chest. And take a couple of breaths here and try to remember how you felt at the beginning of class today when you took those breaths. You should notice that you're breathing just a little easier now. You should have some more freedom in your chest and in your tummy muscles and in your back. And moving down through and into your hips and down through your legs. And when you've finished your body scan and without rushing, you can roll to your side and come up to sitting, and I'm going to unmute everyone. And we have about 6 minutes for any comments or questions.